Yeah.
This shit is called Little Ghetto Nigga.
Yeah. Vietnam,
Shout out to J. Cole on the beat. My nigga does it all. Rap, dudes.
DJ on
Y'all
point.
niggas better catch up.
Yeah.
It's the come up.
Let's bring it in.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's for my niggas in the struggle. Yeah. It's for my niggas in the struggle. Yeah, yeah. Another perspective. Just another perspective. Yeah. Yo. Lifestyle of the young black and genius. Sun strapped with guns, packing jeans, and the blunts got my lungs.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Just got this Discord post up. By the way, I'm about to peep through the Discord today. I'm gonna try to peep as much as I can. So, what's good, Bentley? What's good, Ekan? What's good, Jaden? Jericho, Quessy, what's good? What's good? What's good? We locked in today. We got Tyrese Maxey. And we got defense again today. We got defense once again today. What's good, Rel? What's good? What's good? By the way, you said, where you from? Where am I from ethnically, or where am I from, like, in terms of where I was born and raised? I was raised in Orlando, but in terms of ethnicity, I'm African, from Congo, Rwanda, 50-50. But what you call it? What was I saying? I feel like watching some defense today, so I decided to watch that Sixers versus Heat game. I was like, fuck it, I feel like watching a little bit of defense, but still some offense, because I started thinking about that Draymond Green breakdown I did, and I really realized how elite that breakdown was, because it was just pure defense. And I was like, damn, I really want to watch some defense again. So I decided to watch that Miami Heat game, and then I think somebody, I don't know who, I seen said, oh, can you watch Tyrese Maxey? Might have been someone from Instagram or maybe in the Discord. Said watch Tyrese Maxey, so I was like, fuck it. Tyrese Maxey just dropped 37, 9, and 11 with Embiid's second game back. Fuck it, I'm gonna watch Tyrese Maxey. So, boom, we got Maxey, we got Miami Heat defense, and we got a lot of gems in that video. You're gonna start streaming at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Maybe that's y'all time. 11 a.m. y'all time, my time, not my time. Not for my time. I don't know what you talking about. But 11 a.m. is crazy. That's when I start. That's when I'm maybe done watching the game that I'm gonna break down. But I should have been. I should have started way earlier, but not way early. Maybe like 30 minutes earlier or so. But I just had to cool down, get myself present, so I could be able to bring the best stream. I always tell y'all this: quality over quantity. I tell y'all this all the time: quality over quantity. And by the way, let me drop that right there in the chat before we even get started. Boom. Got that right there. Pin that in the chat. Patreon right there as well. I got 2 workouts in there. Speaking of quality and quantity, I had a workout uploaded yesterday. I had a workout uploaded this past weekend. Both that work on knee strength, and then also work on particularly patella tendonitis, because that's something I was dealing with and something a lot of y'all probably deal with as well. If you don't know what it is, it's that little pain that's underneath your kneecap. So I put 2 workouts on there just to start it off on that concept alone. But going forward, I'm really going to lock in on just having having an abundance of workouts that just touch a bunch of different things. And y'all could really just go look at the Patreon, click a workout, and be like, oh, this is going to help me with my ankle sprain, or this is going to help me with my groin. This is going to help me with my defense. And it's weight room specific workout, start to finish, not just 1 workout or 2 workouts. It's a full workout that's oriented towards a certain skill that's going to enhance your ability to play on the floor. And by the way, my fan is turned off. This shit is hot as shit. I just realized this shit started to get hot as hell. Yo, what's good, Delvin? Oh, Pacific time? What's Pacific time? That's like, what, 3 hours back from me? Even 11 a.m. That's like 2, if I'm correct. Maybe 3. I said 3:30. I said 3:30 to start, but that's because I thought I was going to do something later. But then it ended up getting canceled, so I wasn't going to do anything. So I was like, all right, let me get a little more time so I can be able to go in, like really get prepared and really get present so I can stream. What's the new video on Patreon? Yeah, I just said it. I just said the new video on Patreon. It's a knee workout, knee strength workout, patella tendonitis workout. Also, it does work on bounce as well. Y'all always say, all right, is this a vertical jump workout, or is this a workout for this, a workout for that? All the stuff that I do has helped my vertical jump, because you even think about it from an aspect of I'm strengthening or I'm fixing an injury. Once I fix this, or once I strengthen something that's weak, I'm automatically going to be able to get more out of my body, whether I'm healing something or I'm just fixing something that I never really focused on, right? And it really does have an influence. And so y'all got to even realize all the shit I post in there, it's all going to be able to help you improve directly invert, indirectly in your vert, or if it's something other than that, like say it's a defensive workout, which is something I need to post, it's going to help you with that as well. So I did a huge presentation and froze for 2 minutes straight, unfortunately, due to me not being prepared. Damn shame. There's no way it was 2 minutes straight. It was probably like 20 seconds or like 10 seconds, but it felt like 2 minutes. There's no way it was literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 120. There's no way. It probably felt longer than it was. Pause. Crazy pause. Crazy pause. It's 2:37 in Serbia. Hey, good thing it's a Friday. Good thing it's a Friday. Indeed, good thing it's a Friday, man. How do you get over a shooting slump? It depends where the shooting slump starts from, but the one thing I would say oftentimes is to remember what it's like to feel good when you shoot, one, and then two, stop always thinking about your misses, because what you focus on is going to expand, right? Whatever you focus on, you're going to continuously replicate, because you're telling that to yourself consciously, which translates that message to your subconscious. And when you shoot, your subconscious. And so if all your subconscious knows is to miss, right? Is to remember what you did to miss, it's going to replicate exactly that in your movements. And so you're going to be like, why the fuck am I missing? Because you keep thinking about missing. What you think about, you're going to produce. Now, of course, if you think about to make, you're not going to make it every single time. It's the game, right? It's the game. It's how it is. It's much easier to miss every single shot than it is to make every single shot, right? And so you just got to make sure you're positive. You're telling yourself things that are positive. So make sure you lock in and just remain positive, remain abundant. And if you do feel as though like, yo, I keep missing, stop thinking about all those misses and remember about all those makes that you had before. Keep checking the film in the Discord. Yeah, I'm gonna peep the Discord. I'm gonna peep as much as I can. I'm gonna get into the breakdown about 35 minutes into the stream. So then the next hour could be just the breakdown and stuff, because I want to get sharper with my time. I need to get more time efficient. How I've been great. I've been great. A lot of things. I've been moving a lot, right? I've been doing a lot of stuff, just going from place to place way more often than I usually do. But I'm getting used to it. I got to get accustomed, and it's because the reason I got to get accustomed instead of saying, oh, this is a one-time thing, is because I just got to adapt. If I want to be able to get to a level I've never been, I must do things I've never done. So I got to embrace all this movement. I got to embrace this little bit of chaos, so that what I'm getting out of this right now is that I got to force myself to get, one, more present with what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, and two, I got to get more time efficient, because that presence is going to help me be more time efficient. One, so that I can be able to do all that I need to do and continuously do all the other little things that reside outside of DOR, right? Outside of the community, outside of my content, outside of the influence that I'm doing on the social media. So like that's the main thing. Got to make sure everything just stays in line. And so those are two key concepts. So that's something I've really been focusing on right now, which is why I even started stream a little late. I need my time. So I got a home game on Sunday. Better lock in. Better lock in. See how the Magic will play Knicks with no Randall first round. The only thing is that they have the most playoff experienced player in Jalen Brunson. But I think we could get some shit done. And the only other problem is that we don't really have a scoring guard, right? We don't have enough scoring. We don't have enough shooting. And if once we do get that scoring wing or whatever it might be, like a legit threat, good luck. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a damn problem. How does your favorite breakdown go down? I'm new to the streams. All right, so in terms of breakdown, it's like the videos you see. It's like say it's like the clips. I know you at least seen the clips before. So take like one of those clips, expand the concept I'm talking about for 20 more seconds, so I could actually provide context to what I'm talking about, and then multiply that by about 50. There's about 50 clips in every single stream. Each clip has its own gem. And so it's just a bunch of shit in there, but you got to make sure that as a viewer, right, as just a member of the community, you got to make sure you filter out what I'm saying according to what you need, right? Some things could help you learn and help you get better, but certain things also are going to require application, meaning that you'll have to take what I say, go in the gym, and apply it to improve your own game. But that doesn't mean apply everything I say. Apply the things that allow you in your game, right, for you to get better. Apply those things. Don't try to apply every single little thing I say, because in order for you to get better, you must hyper focus on a certain skill, especially at y'all age, bro. Y'all gonna continue to hear me drill home that hyper focus word so much, like a crazy, because y'all try to put your focus on too many things. You try to get better at too many things at one time, but it's not going. It ain't gonna work, right? You're gonna, if at best, you'll become a C player, an average player, just because everything's gonna continuously improve at a slower rate, because you're not able to apply as much attention to detail, and because you're just doing it all together. So once you get on the floor, you're not really a threat. So, and a team is about having a bunch of players who now come together and balance out the team. It's not about a single player being balanced out and can do everything. It's about a team having these different players who, okay, that point guard, he's good at shooting, but now we have a point forward, he's really good at passing, playmaking, facilitating. Now we have this other wing who's now 3-and-D, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's even drilling to the talking about not even consciously doing it, but that's kind of like Golden State. You know what I'm saying? Where you have a bunch of players who may come together. Not particularly this year. They're a little boo-boo this year. Can't lie. But you have a bunch of players who fill in the gaps of things as to which other players they play with lack. And so it's more so about you figuring out what you're best at, and then finding the team as to which you could fit in. So y'all need to also understand that as well. When playing a season, isn't that all for the off season? I would say during the season you can hyper focus. Most definitely you can hyper focus. And what you do during the season, I'm gonna get to that other part of the second half of that, because I'm gonna tie that in. But during the season, you gotta hyper focus on what exactly you're gonna be doing for your team, right? Where am I gonna get my shots? How am I gonna get my looks? Where am I gonna be at this point in time? What am I doing on these certain plays? How could I be best prepared for my opportunity within this action, right? And of course, there's also a bunch of universal actions and universal opportunities. For example, a swing three, right? Someone swings the ball over to you, shot three, right? A swing three is one of those. A transition three is one of those, or a transition layup or something like that. Little things, or playing off the spot up. All the counters that go into those universal opportunities and ways to score and ways to attack. So it's important that you now also begin to dive deeper into your team's offense, into your team scheme, so you know how you can maximize that. And then you operate according to that in the ways as to which you're going to be able to play your best game out of that. So that's where that hyper focus comes in. Understanding what I must do for my team, and then training according to what you must do for your team. So that's the first thing. And then you said, isn't that for the off season? The off season brings a different level of hyper focus, meaning you're taking your skill in itself, and you do kind of apply certain concepts of your team game, what you're going to do with your team, in those off-season workouts, but not as much as you focus on just building the skill in itself, like in its most raw form, right? And so it's important that you just have that self-reflection. And then if you do know what team you're going to play for next year and how a certain coach coaches, you can then also prepare your game for that. So then you could get on the floor, and then you could get those looks that you want to get, because if you want to be able to get to that next level, because you prepared yourself exactly for what you're going to get. And that's how you work harder, or how you work smarter. And of course, you also got to work harder, because I believe the work hard portion comes before the work smart. So I didn't buy the Patreon yet because I'm waiting for the gym split. I'm not trying to waste money, because that's the main reason I want to buy. I hope it don't sound dumb. I'm about to probably post a gym split this weekend, like the day-to-day split, like what to do Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to post that this weekend. I literally have it in my notes section. Like, I kid you not. Let me show you right quick. It's in my notes. I'm not going to show the entire shit in my notes, but where is it at? So first things first. It's literally right here. Look. Hopefully it can focus. This is just a little note. Label each workout. That's for the, you know what I'm saying? Label each workout. That's what I got to make sure I label all the workouts, in case y'all want to customize your own workout that's different from the full length one that I posted. So yeah, that's why I put label each workout, so y'all can be able to go through each one, look at the description, see what the workout is, and say, okay, this works on this part, this works on that. Let me mix a bunch of these stuff together and make this new workout from a bunch of stuff that he already showed, because I'm gonna have one of those days in those splits. So I'm about to probably like really sharpen up on that this weekend, make sure that I take into account that y'all may be hooping every single day, that y'all should be hooping, right? I'm assuming y'all are, at least one hoop basketball workout a day. And then after that, I'll make sure the recovery stuff is solid and just make sure I get all this stuff correct. And if I do need to update it, I'll post another one. So I'm gonna check it out. All right, bet that. Who you got as finals and contestants? Who you got as final contestants in the NBA Finals? I think Timberwolves and. You said Timberwolves and huh? You didn't include the Denver Nuggets at all? You said the Timberwolves and the Mavericks. I ain't gonna lie, gang. If the Nuggets are healthy, they make it into the damn finals. I ain't gonna lie. If they healthy, they make it to the finals. How can I be real with myself without telling myself negative things? That's the main thing I've been struggling with the past 5 years. Be real with yourself without telling yourself negative things. I don't believe in someone being real with themselves because we all have the ability to adapt, the ability to change, the ability to, most importantly, and a better word for it, to evolve, right? And so when you say, let me be real with myself, you're almost telling yourself, this is who I am. I can't do nothing about it. I know I can't do this, or I know I can't do that, right? And so I never sit here and say, all right, be real with yourself. It's in the standpoint of my ability to attain something, my ability to accomplish something I want to get done, right? And so I will never sit here and say, all right, let's be real with yourself. I don't know if you're gonna hit 100,000 subscribers. Some bullshit. I'm not even gonna speak those words ever out into the universe. That was just for an example. I'm never gonna say that because I know it's gonna happen, right? I know it's gonna happen. And so like, you have to have a level of self-belief for yourself not to be real with yourself and understanding that I have the ability to evolve. I have the ability to adapt. I have the ability to change, right? Just by being human, right? And so everything that's a part of you right now is not set in stone. Because if you want to get something you don't have, you must do things you haven't done. Doing things you haven't done requires you to expand unless you just want to be in that same spot. So, yeah, essentially that being real with yourself, you got to have that. You got to make sure that you start with the self-belief, the internal wars, then also that will carry out in the external wars versus self, meaning the actions you partake in and the thoughts that you think, right? The positives and the negatives. So it's important that you continuously stay disciplined and understand what actions you are doing that's going to lead you to where you want to go and ultimately to where you're here to be. So let me get some water. Ekem, you said how should you get better? Something as simple as just playing basketball more. The best thing you could do, especially never playing for a team, is to start playing with teams, right? Start playing 5-on-5s, even though it's a completely different beast when you're playing in the game. Get used to playing in a team setting. And then I would even just say, 2, you got to outwork your competition. You're probably already behind the 8 ball. So now at this point, you got to make sure you outwork your competition. So if you're not doing that, it's going to be very tough for you to be able to catch up. So make sure you outwork your competition on a daily basis. You're continuously doing what must be done and not doing things as to what you feel like doing. Because if you follow feeling, good luck being successful. Because feeling is like this. It's a roller coaster. It goes up and down. You feel motivated, then you'll feel lazy. But the person who is disciplined, right here the whole time. And they're doing exactly what must be done. Exactly what must be done. So that's why I try to tell y'all, bro. It's at the top of the overlay. Discipline or regret. You choose. It's a mindset thing when it even comes down to me talking about a concept in basketball, because you're like, how does that apply? You must be disciplined enough to be able to go and apply what I'm saying in order for you to get better. So, gotta make sure you stay disciplined. Let me keep going. I'm gonna try to get to all y'all questions and not take a crazy amount of time. Timberwolves beat them last game, but I think they could go to last game. I'm talking a 7-game series. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a 7-game series. That's a different beast. That's a different beast right there. You know what I'm saying? And it's also going to be important between those two teams who has home court advantage. And no, they're cooked. Oh, no, they're cooked. They're cooked. The Timberwolves aren't making shit. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm sorry, but like, let's keep it a beam.
With all due respect.
They don't have Cat. You're going to be like, Cat going to come back second round. He has not done no cardio in months, in 2 months. He been sitting down with a broke knee. You know what I'm saying? So how is he supposed to be conditioned and ready to go and play against goddamn Nikola Jokic and them? He hurt. He got no conditioning. He not in the same rhythm, not in the same flow. If they was fully healthy, different story. But Cat, he injured. Gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Let me see where I was at. Let me see where I was at. Do NBA players feel any pressure before games? It depends on the player, Jaden. Depends on the player. I don't. If you would ask me in terms of how I would assume you should perceive yourself and how you should carry yourself, being in that position. If you're a player who seeks growth, you should not feel any pressure, because the amount of pressure you put on yourself supersedes that of people who are external. It supersedes it every single time. LeBron holds himself to a higher standard than the media does. Guarantee you that. Guarantee he does that. And anybody who tries to go beyond that and say, "Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this, Bron. You got to do even better." It's hard for you to even speak those words and say he should do that, because you're not him. You're not LeBron, right? I'm not trying to say him as in the phrase, you know what I'm saying, what y'all be saying nowadays, but more so from the standpoint of how can you say he should do more when how much he should do is based upon what he wants out of himself. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say. Too many people be trying to knock people for not wanting more, but like, bro, it's your life. You live it how you want to live. You live it how you want to live. So some players most definitely do. Some players don't. Some players just aren't built for it. It depends. How could I be more confident? By putting in more work, because the more work you put in, it reinforces your ability to be able to do something. It builds that trust between conscious and subconscious, the trust in your action. So now you can be able to, it brings trust and confidence in your ability to produce a high level of action. Because if you've done it 10,000 times over, I'm gonna be confident to do it on the 10,001th try, right? But if I've done it 100 times, I'm not going to be as confident as I would have been if I did something 10,000 times, you know? So that's why repetition is extremely vital. So got to put the work in. What are the things you can do before getting increased chances of getting in the zone? You got to learn yourself. Certain players get into the zone different ways, right? So Malcolm, you can't try to say, for example, a Draymond Green may get into the zone by talking shit, but a Stephen Curry may get into the zone by meditating. Y'all gotta understand that. Like, different players get into zones different ways, and so you gotta analyze self and see, what must I do to get myself in the state of flow, right? Am I the person who is able to feed off of the trash talk, is able to feed off of negativity? A lot of people usually are, where people doubt them and now it kind of gets them going. Right? Maybe do I have to think about a certain thing? Do I have to, you know what I'm saying? What do I do? What buttons do I have to push within self to be able to get myself in that flow, get myself into that zone? And so that's why it's important that y'all spend time by yourselves so you can be able to know yourself better, and also be able to self-reflect and think about the times where you have gotten into the zone. That's why there's so many hoopers that are superstitious, right? They'll have one great game and then do exactly everything they did before that game for the next game. And that's almost, it's a mental hack, because if you do everything that you did before, then you're saying, oh, I can do this, right? You're bringing yourself that belief because you did exactly what you did last time to produce a certain result, right? And so now mentally, all you're thinking about is the fact that I can do this, right? I did all this last time, it's gonna work this time. And now having that level of almost arrogance, right, and confidence is gonna allow you to produce that high level of play. And so that's why certain people just have that crazy superstition, right? But in reality, superstitions really don't exist. I'm going to break it to y'all. It does not exist. The only thing that it does is change that mental belief that I was just talking about. And so going back to what you're saying, how do I get into that zone? How do I get into that zone? It's about learning how you must push your own buttons and learning how you must deal with these other external factors that may influence your ability to stay within that zone. So, for example, someone could be in a zone, but when they get trash talk too, they don't have the fortitude to be able to deal with that trash talk, and so they get out of their zone. Meanwhile, somebody may get trash talk too, and the way they deal with it is just by not saying anything back. Right? It could be like a Kawhi Leonard in that situation, and he say nothing, and he's able to stay in that zone. Or it could be a situation where they feed off of that trash talk. They trash talk right back, boom, and they're staying into their zone. So you got to learn yourself if you want to learn how you want to get into the zone. I don't know y'all, but I'm eating chicken. About eating chicken with vegetables right now. Hopefully that's not fried chicken. Because that's gonna defeat a lot of the purpose of chicken. Playing firefighters, Chico to getting better, and also playing people better than you. Playing people better than you is also gonna help. If Cat not there, then it's over. Exactly. If Cat also, regardless if Cat does come back, he's not in shape. He's not in a flow, bro. So it's gonna be tough for him to be able to do anything to the level that they need to beat Denver, bro. I play way older. Okay, yeah. Boom. Let me try to see if I get through all these questions because I need to peep this Discord. Because like I said, I'm trying to get to the stream fairly on solid timing today. Solid timing. Biggest problem is consistency, which is really important. But I'm working on that lately. I've been locked in and locked out. You got to stay locked in. Lethal Shooter be saying that shit all the time. You got to stay locked in. You can't get locked out. Like what the fuck are you going on? You got to stay locked in. And that's where you got to bypass the emotion and the feeling, and then automatically step into using logic to operate instead of trying to use feeling and emotions. So let me see what else is going on. DC Gilbert, the arena's worst MVP in the last 40 years. I seen that shit. I literally came across it. I barely be seeing a lot of stuff, but that was wild. But the clip was cut off to like it was 30 seconds, but he was about to explain himself and what he meant. And I remember he was saying things like, I don't think that clip is as bad as y'all think. Honestly, remember how he elaborated? Because y'all got fooled. Y'all took the segment of when Gil said Nikola Jokic is the worst MVP in the last 40 years and looked at only 15 seconds. If you look into what he said beyond that, he's legit talking about the overall impact and influence if you say extracted him from that team and compare that with all the other people that are in the league and are in the running for MVP, right? A lot of people didn't peep that portion of it, to where if you really do look at the landscape of, you see this player on this other team, this player on that other team, and then the person who was number two, if you took them off that team, they're bottom feeder. But say you took Jokic off the Nuggets, they're probably still in the playoff hunt. That person who made that team go from bottom feeder to the top of the standings is more valuable, right? It's the most valuable player, right? Not best player on the best team, best stats. It's different. Like, I hate how you use the label of most valuable player and then you change the definition to something completely different from what the words are in itself, right? And so, not to say that Jokic is the worst. Not am I saying that when I'm looking at all the MVPs, but if you just look at all the MVPs entirely, a lot of them is tough to say you are really the most valuable player because it's all been shifted. It's all been skewed in a way as to which people now value different things when it comes down to the most valuable player. They just always see best player, best team, or best team, best stats, something of that nature, right? And so that's what y'all don't see. Y'all don't see that elaboration of what he was saying. And like I said, I don't know if I could necessarily say Jokic is the worst in the last 40 years. I'd have to see how all those other races for MVP turned out. But I can most definitely say that in Jokic's seasons, probably there's that number 2 player, the number 3 player who did have a bigger impact on winning for their team and brought their team from a lower point in time, or from being a worse team without him and bringing them with them, had more of an influence. And if that's what the most valuable player is, and you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that kind of made sense. Is this over here even working? Why am I keep saying my frame's dropping? Hopefully this shit not bugging out though. But let me see. I got a turn tomorrow. I'm playing up a level for the first time. You got any advice? You playing up? Play a game. Don't let the fact that you're playing up get into your head. Just play a game, bro. You hooping at the end of the day. Maybe a year up, but like you probably done hoop with so many people, so many like players that are already older than you that it shouldn't really be much different. You know, so you got it. You got it. Hey, good luck, Bentley. Good luck, Bentley. Good luck, Bentley. Luka MVP. Shea MVP. Shea MVP. I got Shea for MVP, man. Should I microwave my chicken or eat it cold? If you like cold chicken, you go ahead and eat cold chicken. Go ahead and eat cold chicken. I would say throw it in the air fryer. I would say throw it in the air fryer, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. It depends on you. Depends how it's cooked. Always crispy. Fuck. Yo, you know, I ain't gonna lie. My Twitch camera quality was way crispier, bro. Like on Twitch, the way they have the, like, I think it's like the encoders, the live stream encoders or some shit. That bit makes it way crisper, but it's solid on here though. It's solid on here. Microwave chicken is nasty. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know when I microwave chicken unless like it was in some like rice and beans I had or some shit, and then I put it in the microwave. But I would say throw it in the air fryer if you got an air fryer. Air fryers are OD. OD. Shay's a foul merchant, but still tough. That is indeed a fact. That is a fact. No lies told right there. Is it all right to focus on scoring output like shooting threes or finishing? Like shooting threes or finishing and building upon that? What do you mean? What do you mean? On like one thing? Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying the whole time. Giannis, bro, stop your. That shit was funny, bro. Hell nah, boy. You say Giannis, he just lost to the fucking... Bro, the Bucks is ass, bro. They lost to the Wizards and the Grizzlies back to back. Even though they ain't have Dame, no fucking excuse. You have Giannis, who's a back-to-back MVP, right? Who's supposed to be top 3 in the NBA. I'm not blaming Giannis. I'm blaming that nigga. What's his name? Glenn. Fuck is you talking about? Glenn. Glad, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That shit is atrocious, dog. You should have just kept Budenholzer, bro. Why don't you just keep Budenholzer? He was going through a serious family incident at the time of the playoffs. Y'all lost Giannis. Y'all would have won that shit. But y'all said, oh, we got new players. Let's just go fire him. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, dog. Bugging, bro. They boo-boo. Do you believe in winning in lower divisions? Like if you play down in AAU type shit? Fuck no, that shit ass, gang. What the fuck? That's wild as fuck. If that's what you mean, specify though. What's your basketball history pack? College offers AAU. I graduated COVID year. Graduated 2021 COVID year. So I had a bunch of like D3 schools I could have went to. I could have walked on at like FGCU, which is a D1, or like one of them South Florida schools, or opportunity even at like a FSU to walk on. But I was like, I ain't really want to go that route. I'd rather go to like an NAIA or like a D, which is a D, practically like D2 level. It's just an external conference outside of NCAA. I'd rather go there and have an opportunity to really play and then work my way up through my playing at that level. And so I ended up going there. Instead of doing the walk-on thing. And by the way, it was a COVID year, so nobody graduated. Or like nobody who fucking graduated. Everyone got an extra fucking year. They all stayed, which is why y'all see fucking like 26-year-olds in the tournament. See 25-year-olds in the tournament. Like, bro, go get your 9 to 5 already. Gang, get out of here, bro. You too old, bro. You too old, bro. You got some youngins want to come through, bro. Like, come on, you taking up spots now. 25 in this month, bro. Come on, bro. It's way too old. Motherfuckers redshirt 2 years. They went JUCO. They got a COVID year. Like, Jesus, man. How many more years you got? That shit be ridiculous, bro. Motherfuckers. Bro, that shit really crazy. Nah, this shit, you realize, I don't know what the age limit is, but imagine going to college, right? You 18, you just got your offer. You playing D1. You look at the other side. You're like, buddy look 30. He just might be, because understand, he could have went post-grad for 2 years, then he went JUCO, and then he redshirted for another couple years, and then he got another 4 years, and he got a COVID year. This shit is crazy, bro. Motherfuckers be about 30 in that joint, bro. This shit would be ridiculous, bro. I'm like, bro, come on, keep shit pushing, bro. Come on, bro. Go play pro, go overseas, whatever you're gonna do. Try out for the league, go to the G League. Let these youngins get their spots, bro. That should be taking too much time. Their feelings made get fired, can handle the pressure and criticism. That shit was so stupid of a decision. Oh my goodness, such dumb of a decision. But I'm about to peep the Discord though. I'm about to peek the Discord. I don't know if any of y'all are in the Discord or are on the stream right now, but I'm gonna just start right here in this jump shot joint. Need to improve my jump shot. Struggling with inconsistency. He said I'm struggling with inconsistency. So now I guess you don't need my help. I switched them, then I missed to sideways or short. So I changed my form completely or tweak something in it. Let me see. Buddy out this motherfucker. Hey, bro, what I tell y'all about hooping outside, dog? What I tell y'all about hooping outside? Remember hooping outside, bro? You gotta move careful. Careful as shit outside, dog. You got a low ass set point. I would say this though. You gotta be careful with the set point that you build when you start shooting, because you may make it become a habit when you're older. And say if you're an undersized player, if you happen to become undersized by the time you're like 17, 18, and you're like, oh, I'm not really gonna grow too much from beyond this point, it could be a detriment. And now you're gonna have to really find a way to work around that. And so it may be difficult. So it may be an investment on your time to change the release point and start closer and build the muscle, build the shooting muscle, build the fluidity so you can have enough power and strength to get the ball to the rim. And so use that time right now to reform your jumper, and then also build the right mechanics, because like you said, you be shooting all to left and right. And so understand this. Your set point is low, meaning you don't have enough strength to shoot it from a good spot, right? Towards that eyebrow area, right? So that means that. And so with you not being strong enough, that means at times you're going to have to try to go and find ways to compensate for that strength. So since you just don't simply have enough natural strength to be able to shoot a shot from this distance and shoot it consistently, what's going to happen is you're going to be missing to the right and to the left and short all the time, especially short, because you're not going to be able to get the ball to the rim. So you must build the shooting muscles. How do you build the shooting muscles? Form shooting, starting closer to the rim. You build the muscle memory, and then you continue to move back. And once you got the muscle memory, now you're doing the same thing by just adding a few more inches on the distance as to what you shoot, bit by bit by bit. So that's extremely important if you want to actually restructure that shot. Let me see if anything I hear Pippin. Or let me start up top, because I missed some stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I did miss some stuff in the chat. Specifically work on shooting threes. My other scoring outputs are average. Should I build my game on shooting threes and being average and like finishing? In time, you're gonna need to focus on one part right now, and finishing may be a layer of your shooting that you may need to add. But you just gotta ultimately say, what should I get better in right now? And am I a real threat in something that I do? What's my real gravity? And probably layer that, and then add in these other counters. Bentley said, get yourself to the local rec league. I don't got time for no rec leagues right now, dog. I ain't got no time for the rec league. Maybe once I graduate, once I'm done with school, I might do that just for fun, but we'll see. For my shooting opportunity to start becoming my comfort zone on my games, like, is it in the catch and shoot, handoff, side dribble, like SGA off the dribble shots? What you mean? What are the ones for my shooting opportunities? When? Or should my shooting opportunity start to become my comfort zone in game? I mean, specify exactly what you're saying in that first part, because it's hard to understand. It's above your head. I spent years building range. If you could get it off and it's working, I ain't gonna say to change it. Everybody got a different body, so if it's working, I'll say not to change it. Did you like your parents coming to your game? I be getting nervous when they're there. My parents have only ever came to maybe 1 to 2 games I've ever played. Maybe just 1 to 2 games, because my parents were always working. So it's not like my parents would always just be like, oh, let's go to this game on this day, that day. They didn't really have that freedom of choice. So they only came to, like, I'm pretty sure my senior night, and maybe like just one more I may be forgetting about. So they were always working at those times. So it was just like midweek as well. It'll just be tough to make it. Let me peep Buddy Jumper right here. I need to see y'all miss shots. I need to see y'all miss shots. Because if y'all making shots, it may seem as if you always making shots. To see what's wrong, I need to see when you get the wrong result. You know what I'm saying? I need to see y'all get the wrong result. And so that's where I always tell y'all gotta self-reflect on your own shot and see, okay, how am I missing shots? Am I missing my shots left? Am I missing my shots right? Am I missing them short? Am I missing them long? Like what are those patterns? Because you must correct the things that are wrong and not try to see things that go right and correct things that are within that. Because the corrections that you make are according to how you miss and not according to just how your shot looks. Because I kid you not, if I was a coach, if I'm a coach and I told you right here, right now, your hand is in the wrong spot, your feet are in the wrong spot, the shot path is the wrong shot path, I'll be doing you a disservice and I may even be making you worse because everybody shoots a different way. We're all gonna have some different style of mechanics, right? And so you got to learn what's the best shot for you, which is why I can't sit here and see you make a shot and say you got to adjust this. I got to see you miss shots and see why you always miss a shot. So it's hard for me to. That's why I could never really answer these questions when I just see a bunch of makes. Make sure y'all be sending y'all misses. Send y'all bricks, bro. I want to see y'all bricks. I want to see y'all bricks. What if I win a championship in one division lower than D1? I mean, if you're playing at a lower level for your same age group, I mean, I guess ain't no problem. Your goal is to win, right? Goal is to win. What are the shots that I got to take for my shooting to become my comfort zone on in-game situations? Start as basic as you can, and that's catch and shoot. Learn how to shoot off the catch. Don't try to do off the dribble. Don't try to do any of those bag work moves. Don't try to do none of that shit. Learn how to shoot off the catch. That's the biggest thing you do. Learn how to shoot off the catch. Start there. Yo, what's good? Alex, what's good? But let me see if there's anything in here. All right. Boom. He said I struggle beating my first defender. Any tips? Well, maybe play more one-on-one. Essentially, if you really want to focus on beating one defender off the dribble all the time, but I would say not even focus on that. Just beating that first defender. I would say learn how to play the game according to your team and learning when to properly go and attack. Because you probably go and attack and think, oh, this is my turn to go. I gotta force my own. But usually, actually, as a matter of fact, how could you beat your first defender? You could beat your first defender better, more consistently by understanding where all the other defenders are. So you know where to go. You know how much space you may have to make the certain attack at this certain point in time, right? That's the most important part. So learn when you should go. Read your help to learn when you should go, because you may already be able to have that first step, but in reality, what may be happening is that you're not looking at the help and knowing when to time your drives. So learn when to time your drives by reading the help. Let me see what else is in here. Let me go. Boom. I don't think there's anything really in here. Oh, he said, we got a question from, this is like 4 days ago. Let me go through all of this. Fuck it. How do I know when I have too much upper body mass? Because I'm 18, kind of swole, 6 foot 220, 37-inch vert. You know you would have too much upper body mass when you see the upper body mass impacting the way you play. Meaning that if you have a bad touch on your shot, maybe you gotta trim back the upper body mass, and instead of trying to bench press all the time and do all these things to gain upper body muscle, I gotta chill out so I can be able to build good muscle memory with muscle that's not constantly breaking down and building back, right? Not constantly getting new muscle, right? And so if it's become a detriment to your game, like it's made your touch worse, it's made your floater worse, made your jump shot worse, then that's when you say, okay, I have too much upper body mass, I gotta chill out. But if you don't really have any of those problems, if you don't have a problem with having a soft touch on a jumper or a floater or a lay, then I would say it's not a problem. But if you do have a problem with it, then I'll say you got to trim it back. What drills and workouts can I do to work on my touch and finesse around the rim? I had a stream where I was working on my touch and finesse around the rim. I may end up just putting that on the Patreon because it's made, whatchamacallit, because it's already in my phone. I just got to break down exactly what I was doing. But I do a lot of drills that work on touch and finesse around the rim that are just freestyle, that are just flow based, meaning that I'm not going into here saying I'm gonna take this layup, but I'm getting myself in the mid-range area and I'm trying to just get around the rim and visualizing different defenses, help defenders, different primary defenders, all those little things. And so it's hard to really explain. And y'all may try it, but may not be doing it quite the proper way to stay in that flow. It all boils down to a bunch of visualization. All right, but it boils down especially to get those reps with that visualization, so you understand what to do. So you understand what to do when you see a certain thing. So, could get ankle mobility, or am I cooked? Bungus, I don't know Bungus in the chat right now, but ankle mobility can be improved. I'm gonna have an ankle workout dropping in the Patreon, and Bungus, I'm pretty sure it is in the Patreon. And I think, is there anything else? Is there anything else in here? We may get to this breakdown. Let me just peep this buddy clips right here. Let me peep buddy clips right here. He sent like 3 clips. They playing the zone. I would say just get a base as a ball handler. So first clip here, get a base, right? Get a solid foundation to where you could be able to hold off your defender and limit their ability just to close up that space and reach around you. But also, of course, you're still gonna have to get your handle better if you want to be able to do that. So just dribble a lot, dribble a shit ton. Even when you're on the court or off the court, right? If you're just at home, you're just chilling, maybe in your garage, just dribble. Have a ball in your hands. That's how you build that natural connection and flow with the basketball. That's how you get the ball on a string. Just getting those reps in and doing things that are beyond drills. I'll say that for that. He rolled his ankle. He just rolled his ankle. Oh. I don't know if I can say anything about this. You low-key timed your steps wrong, meaning that you took an inside step, then an outside step to a defender that's on the inside, right? But if you took an outside step, then an inside step to where you're stepping with the right foot into a defender, that's where you could even got the foul and not rolled your ankle. But also at the same time, when you do like moves like this and you're trying to actually get contact, you got to learn how to slow yourself down and be able to actually hit their body, right? Be able to hit their frame. A lot of players oftentimes slow down if they want to get into a veer step, which is the opposite of what you did here, taking an inside then outside. It's an outside then inside. But little things like that, you don't really got to worry about when you're young. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young hoopers nowadays think they got to be able to do all the moves that NBA players do. But little do they even see the process it took them to be able to get there. So... And on this play, there's not really much you could do. I mean, I could say, like, these are components where we're talking about, like, more real skilled basketball. But the most important thing y'all could do at this age is not learn how to break down your film and listen to me and do something that I said. Because if you know what to do, but physically you can't do it, what I told you doesn't matter. So you got to make sure you put in the work physically so you have the physical capacity to carry out the mental side of things, the IQ, right? So you got to make sure you have the actual skill in itself. So if it's really a situation like this, I mean, this player could be hugged up on the line a little more as soon as he pinch, boom, swing, but the spacing is way different. Players can't really shoot. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to be able to say that at this point in time. Yeah, ain't really much else you could do better there. Ain't really much else. All right, you said, what is your goal as a creator? As a creator, to actually help people get better. Ultimately, that's the ultimate goal. Help people get better, improve their knowledge, increase their wisdom in the game. Show them that there's no limit. Show y'all that there's no limit in terms of your ability to improve, right? There's never a ceiling, right? It's never capped out. And so I want to show y'all that basketball really is an instrument of life, and it can show you so much more than just, oh, let me get to the NBA, let me be pro, let me do X, let me do Y, let me do Z. There's so much more to it that you can learn from basketball. It'll teach you life. Right, first and foremost. And then the second thing, which is going to be something I get into further down the line, which is providing resources, That's the main thing, because I really resonate with that very, very deeply, because I came from a point where I didn't have a gym I was able to get some sort of consistent access to. Aside from one as to which I was able to get into, because the people that were there were generous enough to be able to take me in and understood that, he really wants to get better, right? I had that, but I understand that not everybody's going to run into situations like that. So providing resources is going to be that other phase of impact. I'm trying to get better. Feels like I'm lacking in numerous aspects of basketball. Should I work on one specific skill or choose 2 to 3 skills to focus on? One skill. I say this all the time. One skill. Ain't no need for it. One skill. If you're a guard working on handling pressure and shooting, then work from there. Yeah, I said one skill. You said, okay, you're talking to Bentley. I mean, 10,000 layups won't help with shooting. I don't think so. So guessing 10,000 shots. Hold on. What are you exactly all talking about? I'm low-key about to get this breakdown started. You got to get the breakdown started. Hold on. Let me pull up these clips. I got a lot of gems. today. What's your thoughts on Jordan Hawkins? Is he a college player? Because I ain't gonna lie. If it's just a college player, I don't really be watching men's basketball like that. Men's college basketball, let me say that. The reason being is that there's so much skill in the league, bro. There's so much skill. It's like every single time I'm watching, bro, this shit is high level. He sounded familiar. He was that dude who went to Gonzaga, I think, or some shit like that, or like UConn. I think UConn. It was UConn. Didn't he have some games where he went crazy last year? Like this year. I remember early in the year, they're like, oh, who's this dude? Yeah, I said he went to UConn. That's what I said. I was like, oh, he's that dude. But it sounded familiar. Angel Reese's cousin. I remember him. It's just sometimes I forget the names. I be forgetting names, bro. Forgive me. But yeah. Didn't he have some games where he had like 30 this season? But now that was when they had injuries, and now players got back, and now he's not really playing. The last 2 times I watched the Pelicans, I ain't see him play. So, remind me of a Black Clay. He did. I'm pretty sure he has worked with like Reggie Miller, like Rip Hamilton, and them dudes before. So, but let me get this pulled up. Let me get this post on the story. Hopefully Instagram not tweaking out today, bro. We see if Instagram tweaking out. I don't think Instagram gonna be tweaking out, but we gonna see. By the way, I listened to that J. Cole album. If y'all ain't listened to J. Cole album, go listen to J. Cole album, bro. Best rapper alive, bro. Bar for bar, ain't no rapper better than J. Cole alive right now, bro. That's all I gotta say. Let me get this recorded. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Boom. Rock with that. Boom. Hold on. Boom. By the way, I'm also about to talk about Embiid a little bit, slightly, because y'all underestimate the impact of star players and how much opportunity they bring by them simply being there. And so I'm going to emphasize that at the start of the breakdown. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we got that posted. And Clay had that swagger to him, bro. Somebody from last stream said Clay dribbles like a Republican. That was a dumbest shot on her. He said Paige Becker's first, and then after that he said Klay Thompson. They Republican dribblers, bro. Okay, so if I focus on one skill in basketball, how long should I wait until I move on to the next skill? It's not about how long you should wait. It's about how much you progress and how much better you're actually getting. You got to track your progression, right? And then when time calls for it, it's going to be time. We try to be too finite and too definite with the things as to which we do, but you'll know when you got to move on. And that's an empty space. It's a blank canvas. You got to trust. Something you got to trust. Train for stamina. If it's for the season, stamina. Off season, I'll say go speed. But you could train for both of those at the same time. Until you see legitimate progress. That's also, I mean, yeah, like I said, you got to track it yourself. You can't say I do this for 3 months. You got to constantly reflect and say, oh, what am I doing wrong? Is this actually applying? And constantly go through that process of growth, right? That's the most important part. So, because even understand this, I could be working on a skill for 3 months and you could be working on it for 3 months, but I'll get 10 times better at it than you may because I know the process that I must partake in to actually get better in the skill in itself, right? So like you could progress at different rates just depending on how you perceive the process. So it's important that you always do that reflection and see how well it applies. And the ultimate ability to test how good you are at a skill is by actually doing it in the game. So then you can see, okay, is this actually physical or is this something I have mentally? Like, it's a whole rabbit hole right there. It's a whole rabbit hole. The Heat could not make a fucking bucket. That shit was atrocious, dog. It was so bad. I was like, whoa, like, y'all ended with 105 and y'all been stuck at 102 for about 4 minutes and a half. I'm like, bro, what the? Get a layup, force a foul, get to the free throw line or something, bro. They sold this. They really just sold this game straight up. And the main concept for today. Hey, Alex, appreciate that sub. Hold on, let's get a little intro going, right? I want to talk about the main concept for this video, right? And so, the main topic of conversation in today's hoop is what's my bag like? What are the moves in my bag? And I'm gonna show y'all through Tyrese Maxey how you could properly build your bag. Because when you even think about Tyrese Maxey and how he plays and what his strengths are, it's speed, right? And so with Tyrese Maxey, his speed impacts the way he moves, his movement, and that's going to change the type of moves he uses, right? And so particularly when he's going to attack the rim, now having the speed that he has, having Embiid on the floor right here, Bam right here, staying attached, not showing, he has his lane to go and attack, and watch the type of finish he uses. Right lay. That's a speed lay. It goes directly, it's directly correlated to his movement, which is based upon speed. Now watch the rest of his bag and how he utilizes his speed to build his bag. And I also want to talk about Embiid for a second, because this is also something that's underrated. And let me bring up my marker, my on-screen marker. I need to use this. I need to start using this on-screen marker. I need to start using this. But I want to talk about Embiid, because this is Embiid's second game back, right? He played the game before this, he had like 24. And so on this play, I want you to pay attention to Bam, because this is the gravity, right? Since Embiid came back, this is the gravity that he brings, and it makes the game so much easier for Maxey. Is that once he gets off this screen, right? Bam's priority is to take away Embiid, not to leave Embiid, and just allow Rozier to go over, because I leave Embiid, we may have to switch. We don't want that. And so when Maxey gets over this, I got this whole lane right here, right? You see this entire lane right here. Let me get a quick little pencil out. You see this entire lane right here. With his speed, I'm getting through that this whole time. I'm getting through that easy. That's light work, right? So now it's just making it all easier just with having Embiid on the floor. And by the way, he doesn't get credited for none of that. He doesn't get an assist, right? There's no sort of other box score, some other metric that's going to measure that gravity. But that's the impact that he has that a lot of hoopers overlook. He always selling. Just wait till he gets to the playoffs. Watch him just stop selling. Watch him just stop selling. Now watch this as well too, right? Look, the Sixers are about to layer these plays. And once again, the gravity of Embiid since he's back. Back screen. Anytime you back screen, you're going to need a tag. But with nobody in that corner, Maxey being high, Oubre going over, Bam staying attached, throw this over the top to Oubre. Now he gets that easy too, right? And now remember that play. Remember that play for a couple plays down. Screen assist, exactly. At least 2K got it. At least 2K got it. But the NBA don't got it. Crazy flashbang on the screen though. But for this to be a minute and a half into the game, and Maxey takes a shot like this shows you one thing about who he is as a player and how he develops his game, right? Because like all the speed that he has, and we know he has, he's able to get here, tween, have those twitches and get into that step back. But the most important thing is staying controlled. Watch the shoulders, right? I got to make sure y'all see the shoulders. Starts there, finishes there. That shows you that core is stable, the shoulders are stable, and now the shot here is also going to be stable. So now he's a consistent jump shooter, and he could control all the speed that he has and that he brings into these shots, which really unlocks his entire game. Yo, what's good, Magic? What's good? But like I said, like I showed y'all before, remember the play just before that little pull-up right there? Remember that play right there? Right? Now they're playing in layers, right? So this back screen happens. They don't throw this. They low-key could have, but they ain't throw it. So now what happens? Embiid turns away. We going into the next layer of this action. And once again, I got a screen with Embiid. Embiid has an abundance of gravity, and I'm going to build my bag according to how much gravity my teammate has, because he's going to bring me certain looks. And so I could throw this out and pull that shot right there, because Adebayo is not going to really show because I got Embiid. So that's a shot Maxey could work on since he has Embiid by his side, right? Since he has Embiid by his side, since he has a screener who has gravity by his side, that's a shot I got to work on and add into my bag, right? Y'all got to understand, the type of bag I have is only determined upon what type of move I think is pretty and the move I like. It also could be changed depending upon the type of players I have on my team and the gravity that they have, which is going to give me open looks. Got to understand that. That's a gem. Take that with you, bro. Take that with you. Now let me hide this as well. But now Embiid, hold on. I got a couple of triple threat plays with Embiid. I really fuck with these triple threat matchups. There be so much little shit going on, right? This triple threat game really be like a little. It's like a, what's the word for it? It's like a little battle. It's like a little war. I don't know. I can't really find the word for it, bro. But it's just like it's a chess match, right? It's really a chess match. The triple threat is like a little game of chess. When you really look at it, like I really want y'all to see the little things that's going on, right? And so look, the triple threat is really a game of chess. Watch this right here. Embiid catches this, turns over, watch bam. He's using that right hand as a gap hand while that ball's on Embiid's right side because he could rip that through to his left. And so where he puts that right, he's keeping it low in case that rip through. But watch Embiid now, brings into that left, Adebayo switches his gap hand to that left. So now he could rip through to his right side and only be prepared for that low rip through. So what does Embiid now do to play with that hand? Watch. Jab. Drop that hand back. Now notice what's he going to do again. Jab. Created a few more inches of space while that hand is low. And so I know I can beat you up high. So now I can get that shot over the top, get my bucket. That's just a game of chess. There'd be so much little shit going on, bro. That's why I really do like the triple threat. It's not a bunch of flashy shit, not a bunch of movement. You conserve energy, and I simply beat you by barely exerting any energy. I'm telling you, it's be that simple, bro. But y'all just don't want to work on that part of the game. Are always related to your mind and mindset, and what do you do, and what you do outside of basketball. Everything impacts everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Y'all gotta always remember that. It'd be more than just basketball. Can you do the Bones Highland breakdown or some Luka breakdown going crazy? Bones be barely playing. That's the thing. Bones don't be playing. And I got a clip I'm about to post on the gram super soon, and probably might go viral just like my other stuff about Bones Highland. Just wait. It low key, y'all probably done forgot about it. It was a breakdown from a while ago, like a few weeks ago, right? Because I'm behind on these clips and shit. But y'all gonna see that, and then so be like, okay, boom, Bones Highland's clip. Y'all gonna see a Bones Highland clip. And it's the reason why Bones Highland and players like Bones Highland don't play. So just stay on the lookout for that. Stay on the lookout. But now let's talk about Maxey right quick. Let's talk about Maxey. Let's go back to Maxey. So understand, this right here is how simple y'all should play basketball, right? So Maxey gets the screen going right. He goes, clears the screen, boom, he gets past Robinson. He turns that corner, hasn't used a dribble move. He gets down into the paint, sees the gap, can't get through it, hasn't used a dribble move. Now he just finds space, gets up into a shot, gets the bucket. He did all that without using a dribble move. He's a player with speed, so by having speed, I'm going to use that to my advantage and not use all these moves to be pretty and slow myself down. Y'all gotta understand. The game could be way more simpler than you think it is. But you just have to change how you perceive the game. And you'll become more efficient, be able to score more points, be a better player overall if you just play the game more simple. I guarantee you. Maxey's so efficient because he keeps the game so simple. Where does he play? You talking about Bones? He's on the Clippers. Self-explanatory why he doesn't play. Thoughts on the Celtics right now? The Celtics right now, it's cool. Regular season, 60 wins and shit. But they're not going to win a chip unless they get into that goddamn paint and stop shooting so many damn threes. I'm going to stand on that. I'll stand on that. Unless they stop shooting so many damn threes, I don't think they're going to win a chip. Especially if you end up facing a team out the West like Denver, who I'm anticipating win the West unless they're hurt. But Boston could beat like one of those other teams outside of Denver, even if they don't stop shooting threes. But it depends who even that team is, what the playoff experience looks like and whatnot. So, Luka's getting revenge for us tonight. Wait, what happened? The Rockets? Oh, the Rockets. Okay. Oh, damn. I told y'all, bro. Don't. That's all. You got a little too excited, man. Got a little too excited. Look, got too excited. So understand this, right? Understand. This is why the Sixers, when Embiid left, dropped down to like one of the worst teams in the NBA. Understand the amount of gravity that changes by not having Embiid in the game in itself. So just by simply running the set, Buddy Hield ends up getting this handoff. You got Tyrese Maxey coming over here. This is where it really begins, right? Reed, which would usually be Embiid, right? What could Miami's defense now do in the situation, right? They can now switch. They could switch a Bam onto Maxey and a Caleb Martin onto Reed. And so what this happens is that we do not even have a favorable matchup to go and attack. So what do? We just swing the ball back to where it needs to be. And it's not even done, right? Hield gets a closeout to where there is no pull from that weak side help from Terry Rozier on that roll by Reed because Caleb Martin was already doing his thing. And so what even happens now, Caleb Martin is still outworking him to where Hield drives left, plug that lane up, you take a step back in the mid-range, and Hield, that's not really his game. And now they end up getting that stop. The impact of Embiid, the impact of superstars is oftentimes very overlooked. Very overlooked. Rockets are officially cooked. About to head out. All right, catch you though, Bentley. They're told you don't get your hopes up too high. Still has some games to go. Bro. But even peep this, right? This is the little things, right? And so when you shift your mind from let me just go and get a bucket to let me even restart that, right? I need y'all to understand this. When you shift your mind from let me have a bag, let me be pretty to let me just simply go and get a bucket, you're going to take advantages of opportunities like this. Hield throws that back and watch what Hield does, right? He rubs right off of Bam's hip, and now notice what Bam has to do right here, right now with that foot right there. You know what I'm saying? With that foot right there. Notice what he has to do now, right? Open up to now beat Maxey downhill where Maxey loves to utilize his speed. And so it ends up occurring. Boom, I get to the rim, drop that off, pull in the help. Reed is able to get down there and get that too. You just take advantage of what the defense hands you. Simplicity is Maxey's bag, and speed is his advantage. Let me move this camera over, this light over as well. I low-key can't even see everything on this on-screen marker. But boom, all right, we locked in. So no Luka breakdown. Come on, man, bro. We gonna get one more. I'll try to get one more Luka breakdown before the end of the year. We go off. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kyrie is always fun to watch, most definitely. But I done did like 3 Luka breakdowns. I done did at least about 3. In the playoffs, though, will be interesting. The playoffs will be interesting because it's a different game. It's a different game. Or the other areas of basketball, like gravity that the box score doesn't write down. I mean, there's a bunch. It's hard for me to just think off top. But those 2 are the ones that are that are so impactful that just doesn't get mentioned. You know, it just don't get talked about at all. So, but on defense, I can't really. Defense is a completely different style of movement. Y'all got to understand. And I never really understood that myself. until I had to do a little bit of research and understand. Oh, as an offensive player, I'm moving this way, right? I'm moving this way. I'm moving from split stances, and it's like I'm sprinting more so, right? But when I'm playing defense, I'm bilateral, meaning my feet are next to each other, right? I'm not moving unilaterally. I'm more so bilateral. And so that's a completely different style of movement if you want to stay in front of somebody who's moving unilaterally, which is just more so being in lunge positions, being in sprints, right? And so you got to understand, and it's not going to translate over because it's a different movement. It requires different, like physically different mechanisms, different reactions, a whole bunch of different stuff. And so it's two completely different things, and I know how to train for it. And I'm about to drop some defensive workouts on the Patreon. So make sure y'all go sub on that Patreon right there at the top. I'm gonna drop a defensive workout on there, and it's gonna be the type of workouts that allowed me to start playing defense and be ultimately, supremely, extremely confident in my ability to guard. Clippers play Mavs in the first round would easily be the best. I ain't gonna lie, that would be comp. That would be so comp, bro. That would be so comp. Hope they meet in the conference finals though. Conference finals gonna be tough. Denver, and it seems like Denver's healthy as well, to where they don't have any real injuries. So. 100 sprint is 13 seconds to anyone. Take their time because I'm fastest on my team, but 13 seconds still sounds slow. 100-meter sprint? Rel, you talking about a 100-meter sprint? Patreon glazing be crazy, but I'm still gonna join Monday. I'm glazing my own Patreon. It's because I'm dropping gems. I'm showing y'all the shit that got me from a position where I'm just I'm boo-boo to the position where I'm like, yo, I could play D1 easy. Like, you know, like the shit that's got my vert from a 33 to a 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the real gems. You said, 100 meters? I could do 100 meters probably in like 11 seconds. At least, like, maybe like 11. I'd be sliding, bro. Ever since I did my vert program, I'd be sliding like crazy. Sliding crazy, bro. Let me get some water again. Bro, you haven't seen my bounce, bro? I gotta do this again. We gotta do this again. We gotta do this again, bro. We gotta do this again. We gotta do this again. We gotta do this again, bro. I'm gonna do this right quick. And we're gonna get right back to the breakdown. I just gotta let y'all know. This is not even my best skill in my game, bro. It's like my number 3, 4 skill. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find it right quick. Let me see if I can find exactly what the joint is. Where is the joint at? Where the joint at? Not that one. Not that. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. This shit was from a little minute ago. I'm just going through my files right quick. Let me see if I can find the video of me jumping. Can't find that. That one. Let's get back to the breakdown. I'll show y'all later though. I'll post. Actually, as a matter of fact, bro. Peep my Instagram story tomorrow. All right, peep my Instagram story tomorrow. I'm about to get stupid bouncy, or I may go live on TikTok. I may go live on TikTok tomorrow when I'm in the gym. But I'm gonna do a 2-hand reverse windmill. Yeah, 2-hand reverse. So off 2, right, left, reverse. Damn, off 2, reverse, boom, right there. I made that shit the other day. I made that shit on Wednesday, but I need to record it though. I really need to record it. So post on shorts. I'm gonna start posting on shorts again. I'm gonna see. How old are you? I'm 20. I used to be trolling y'all. I'm telling y'all I'm 26 and 27, but I'm 20, bro. Motherfuckers really think I'm 25, bro. Motherfuckers really think I'm 25. Be might as well watching the minor game because the terminology and plays are well known by elite players I ain't never heard of. Some of the stuff I know, but I don't have the words to put them to encapsulate the concept, right? Like, I don't know exactly what they're talking about. I just don't have the words to put it all together and just into one word to sum up a definition of a thing. No, Instagram is crazy. What you mean? Instagram is crazy. Right, let me get back to Tyrese Maxey right quick. Why you type out what you're saying? You gotta understand this, right? So with Tyrese Maxey being so fast, he's got to stop. And the ways he stops also have to go in line with his movement. And this is really perfect for him, right? Just like it was for Allen Iverson, because Allen Iverson loved to do the same exact move, right? When he got somebody going one way, got them breaking their base, that little inverter drag right there, it's perfect because it allows him to fully be able to stride, right? As if he's really driving that direction, but stop, change direction. They're still not set. They're unbalanced. And now I could go and attack the other direction. And once again, right lay before you could get your feet together and try to block me, I get my bucket. Same here. I never had TikTok. Why you be skipping my comments? I don't be skipping your comments. I just be trying to see what's going on. That's wild, Leo. You made me go back to read that. Crazy. I don't even know if I can trust when you say, "Oh, you missed my clip," or you missed my comment. I don't even know if I can trust that no more. But let's talk about Maxey once again, bro. Hold on. I'm going stupid with these clips right now. Hold on. Peep this though. Peep this. Right. This is the key to attacking a mismatch. Watch Maxey. He's got Bam. Ah, damn, that's Bam. I can't cook on Bam. All right, give me a switch. Now I got a switch. I got Jovic. I could probably do a little better than that. Let me get another switch. All right, that's the one. I like that matchup. And now let me attack. Now watch these two moves he does. Tween, cross. That right there, all it does is just bring him to a slow pace. Just drops his pace. So he could get his defender to sleep, and he could utilize his best ability, which is his tween, to now use his speed and get downhill, but only for him to force a defender to do this. Open their base, force it, lets him get to a stop, and now he gets that step back in a bucket. That's how you gotta play, right? Understand who you're attacking and how you're going to attack them according to your strength. Hold on, let me talk about Jimmy right quick. Let me talk about Jimmy. And we're real quick about Hightower. Look at this right here. If you get a defender to do this, that's literally GG's. Hold on. Let's slow this down. I want to show y'all this as well, because this is something as to which y'all should always look for, right? And so anytime you have a matchup where you have the speed advantage, you'd want to make your defender do this right here. Every single time, and I promise you'll cook him. Watch Hightower, right? Tween by Maxey. Watch this left foot, right? Make them open up that hip and take that step, because if they want to recover, they're going to have to take not just one, but two steps that are off balance. And while you even are able to get to a stop, you now have all that space and they can't do damn near anything about it. Bucket, right? Getting them to open up that hip is vital. And also, let me talk about this before you even keep going. Look at the timing, right? Look at the timing of his stop. There's so many little things in this play, right? Look at the timing. The only way this play would work is that if you're able to read, you're able to get them to open up that hip before they really go and take that step. And you take this snatch back and the stop while they're taking that step. Because if you take one more dribble, then they're able to get reset. You got to make sure you could just read their movements prior to and understand what it's going to lead them to. And if it can lead them to that right there, then you could get those stops. So that's just vital in understanding. Their bench was empty as shit. Hold on. Where the fuck is everybody? They got a couple people on. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yo, you good, Leo? Turn hips is vital. Waste your time trolling every stream. What defender is the same height as you? Defender is the same height as you? What you mean same height as you in terms of what? Like get into a stop? Jalen Green. So Jalen Green just has become the topic of conversation, huh? For no reason, just Jalen Green. Nothing was about Jalen Green. Like, there's not even any green in this picture except for these Grinches. But yet you decide to say Jalen Green. Kind of crazy to me, I ain't gonna lie. Kind of look crazy. A little crazy if you ask me. But let me get some water right quick. They're the same height. Height doesn't have anything to do with speed. Don't got nothing to do with speed. It just boils down to agility at that point. Height doesn't really matter too much. Could be an indicator of how athletic somebody is, but overall, shouldn't really impact. So I want y'all to even understand this from Jimmy. This is right quick, a little Jimmy gem right here. So let me go back one more time. So understand this. The reason your coach always says to keep your head up is not just so you can be able to see your defenders and who you're going against. It's so that as a byproduct of seeing your defenders, when you go and attack, you can see this here, which is gaps, right? You can see this right here. Gaps for you to be able to go and attack and get to exactly where you want. So notice what Jimmy does. Boom, like a Swiss Army knife, gets straight to the rim, and now he's able to get to the line. And notice the score, right? Notice the score. They down 14 right now. Down 14. Or before, they're down what, 16? They're down 16. They're down 16 right here. What film do you recommend for the smaller guard trying to score on more mobile defender? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me finish with this right quick. Also, notice the score because it's going to be important. But you said film to recommend. I would even recommend film necessarily, but I would say get a floater and stop always trying to go to the rim if you're trying to. Oh, you're thinking about scoring on a taller mobile defender. Learn your game, learn what your strengths are, and do you have to score on a taller mobile defender? Like, you got to ask yourself, do I have to actually go score on him? Or you just want to go and score on him so you want to be able to score on everybody and be the best isolation player there is. But in reality, that's not what your game is probably is, honestly. It's just something you want to have, but not how you got to play the game to be able to actually get great results. So a lot of people get that shit skewed. That's really not what it is. What defender has to do till they realize, oh, damn, let's keep it pushing, bro. You know what I'm saying? That just might have been it for chat for the rest of the stream. I'm about to lock in right now. I'm about to lock in. I don't know if I'm going to turn my head to the left to see chat once again because Leo keep trolling. So let's keep it pushing, though, right? Understand, the Heat are down 16 right now, right? This is how quick ties can turn within the course of a game. Now they end up down 13. Cam Payne takes the ball out. I want y'all to understand this, right? Understand this right here. So notice, right? Cam Payne takes the ball out, and now he's their point guard. And now with the point guard taking the ball out, everyone's just expecting the point guard to get the ball, but the point guard is taking the ball out. And with the Heat now going into a press at the end of this quarter, great defensive adjustment by Miami because this just so happened for Cam Payne to take the ball out as well. So now they're just trying to get the ball in with the person who's their ball handler with the ball out, and now everybody can't get open. Guess what happens? Boom, turnover, throw to Caleb Martin, throw to Jaime Jaquez, boom, right there, and one. Down from 16, now we're end up going to be down 10, right? And all it takes is a few possessions. You're just down 16, ending this quarter out, which is extremely vital in all games. Notice what now happens, right? Even though you got Kelly Oubre taking the ball out, Cam Payne right here, you're still facing this pressure. Catch. Good fortune. You're in good fortune. His foot is out of bounds. Taking the ball, keeping the ball on this side. Get another turnover. And so now just even realize, oh shit, now they're down 7. Now they're down 7. So that's a huge shift. Ben, I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. You about to lock in. Like I said, we about to lock in. Peep this as well. This is where the Miami Heat defense stuff starts up. Because I told y'all Miami Heat defense breakdown. We just been watching Maxey and the Sixers, right? Because this is really what makes a great defense. Learning when to adjust your defense when shit just not going your way. And so now the Miami Heat decided to get into their zone. And now what ends up happening is that when you go from playing a man to a zone, the type of rhythm the offense is in is a different rhythm. So despite Kyle Lowry getting an open look right there and missing that, and now what ends up happening even on the next possession is that you now end up getting Kyle Lowry over here in this right corner, and he gets another brilliant look. But these players are not in rhythm to knock down these shots, despite the fact they can knock them down. And with this just being in the course of a game, it's just making shit tougher. So now what ends up happening, Lowry shot, he misses. And now the game is just in our favor. Saying we got them out of rhythm, despite the fact they could hit those shots. And so now, going on to the offensive side, they had a few possessions where they're struggling, getting the ball to where they want to, getting the ball in the rim. So now, miscommunications occur. Kevin Love ends up catching this right here. Nobody communicates. He goes down the lane and gives this layup. I don't even know if Kevin Love can still dunk. He just got to lay. So changing up the defenses, although teams may get good looks, the rhythm, can they really knock them down? Is the real question. Now even want y'all to peep this as well. How they continuously just irritate them in the zone. Joel Embiid especially, right? Look, by switching to the zone, they literally took Embiid way out of his rhythm. Because although he may end up getting some good looks, playing a zone and playing a man is a different thing. You've seen him already playing against a man defense. It requires a different thought process, different form of attack. So now what ends up happening with Embiid being a big and playing in this free throw line area where he usually ISOs, he now has to worry about players pinching in. And now what do he has to do? Boom, backdoor, have to think about that, get here into that shot. He misses, and you're like, oh, that's just one. Watch how this shit racks up. And I'm going to tell y'all later his percentages from the field going against their zone. Kyle Lowry over there being an irritant. And now also carries over to Nicholas Batum as well, right? I'm telling you, this is not just some fluke. This is not just some fluke. This is a byproduct of just the team being out of the rhythm. Easy bunny missed by Batum right there, right in front of the rim. I'm trying to tell y'all. And now let's talk about this right quick. Hold on, I got a gem. So peep this, right? This is probably the easiest way for you to get 2 points. So look at Kevin Love. Watch him cook. Boom, spin. First time probably seen Kevin Love hit a spin move like that. And so now once he gets into the lane and pulls in help, understand responsibilities. Kyle Lowry pulled over from guarding on that left side, so now he has to plug. And now what does Maxey right here have to do now, right? What is Maxey's responsibility? To guard Hightower here and guard Caleb Martin there. And so now being the person, if you're in that corner, what can you do now just seeing the back of the defender who's supposed to guard two? I could get right to the rim and now be able to get my bucket because he can't even see me, right? He can't even see you. You're behind him. So always make that cut instead of sitting out there and trying to get that three. You sit out there and try to get that three, you're making the job much easier than it has to be for the defender. Hold on. I got gems today, bro. I got gems. But peep this. Buddy going crazy. It's the second quarter, bro. Hold on. I'm about to get... You going crazy. It's the second quarter, dog. Chill. Chill, bro. Chill. You need to chill. You need to relax. You need to chill. You need to relax, man. But peep this, right? This is why anytime you go against the zone, it doesn't work. Hold on. Let me read what y'all said right quick. Let me see what y'all said right quick. Boom. I need a cut more. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, that slot cut. If you watch Mind the Game podcast, that slot cut, I promise you, bro. So that slot cut and even these like France cuts, these corner cuts, vital. Right? So understand this. I want to talk to just all the hoopers in general, right? So anytime y'all go against the zone, this is why you can't score. Watch. Look at Kyle Lowry. Throws it to Maxey right here on the wing. Maxey on his right side throws it back to Lowry. Lowry back to Maxey. Maxey now ends up throwing the ball now to Oubre, who's now also the right corner. He pump fakes. No room. He can cook. So now guess what ends up occurring? All those passes made, now it ends up getting to the middle. But you didn't do one thing this entire possession, despite the fact Embiid gets a clean look in here in this middle, which is not getting the ball to the other side of the floor. You need the ball to rotate sides of the floor so you get the defense moving because the ball will always be faster than the defense. And that's how you create disadvantages for the defense and advantages for you as an offense. Got to move the ball. Got to get that ball side to side. And now Caleb Martin ends up coming down, pulls that three. They're just down 16, but boom, shot from that right wing, that's green. It's tough, bro. It's tough. But here too, this is why Spo is so smart, bro. Understand, right after they hit that three right there, Eric Spoelstra the Sixers called a timeout, right? So what ended up happening is that during that timeout, Nick Nurse probably drew up some stuff to go and attack that zone. They switched to a man. And now switching to a man, whatever thing they drew up in that timeout, they can't use it anymore, right? They can't use that shit no more. So Kelly Oubre gets this right here. Despite even having just 12 on the shot clock, let me go cook, right? Let me go and attack. Let me see what I could do. I don't know what else to run. Boom. Turnover. Eric Spoelstra be thinking one step ahead, dog. He one step ahead, bro. Now you talk about Maxey once again. Right quick about Maxey. Look, Maxey's bag is literally perfect for his movement and for his speed. Same move once again. Get you moving left, take that lunge out, and I'll peep this by campaign. This little dime. My coach does that all the time. But peep this little dime right here, though. I know that was probably a couple possessions back, but peep this possession right here. So understand, Dime right here by Tyrese Maxey. But watch Campaign, right? Campaign catches. Watch Jaime Jaquez. Since Campaign catches and decides to look down, Jaquez stays about 2 feet behind the line, right? And so now he shoots that way late of a hand. That's how you get open shots. Y'all gotta understand. If you want to easily get open shots off the catch, do this right here. Notice Campaign. He catches, stares down Jaquez instead of staring up at the rim. And so Jaquez stays right there behind the line, 2 feet behind the line. And so your reaction to that shot is gonna be late. I'm getting that over the top. And I promise you're going to be able to get so many easy buckets by simply putting your eyes down instead of catching and always keeping your eyes up at the rim. Now I want to talk about playing in advantages. Playing in advantages and whatnot. Is the stream lagging or my internet bad? It might be lagging a slight bit. I think my frames just dropped. Yeah, my frames just dropped. My frames dropped for a second. Give me 1 second. Let me double check something right quick. Because I can't really do much about it, especially at this point in the stream. I can't really do too much about it. But it dropped for a second. Little lags, yeah. It's just like, it'd be slight baby lags. Like slight, just tiny joints. But from time to time, yeah, the frames probably just dropped a little bit. Let's get back to this breakdown, though. But let's work through it. We got pushed through it. I don't know. It always does this on Fridays, which is weird as shit, right? The frames will just drop on Fridays. Mondays, I'm good. Wednesdays, I'm good. Fridays, I don't fucking know. I just don't know. Also, let me maybe take off some of these apps as well, so I don't gotta. Maybe this shit is just processing too much. So hopefully we don't see no more frames dropping. Hopefully we'll be straight. But let's get back to it. What was I? What play was I on? Okay, right here. Gems right here once again. Y'all gotta understand this concept right here. So y'all don't understand this, but 25% of basketball is played off of the spot up. Not isolation, not pick and roll, spot up. Because the goal of offense is to be able to now create advantages for yourself with numbers. Because now Maxey gets this double team. And so all the decisions that have to be made after this must be quick, right? Playing off the spot up. Defense all in rotation. Catch, swing, attack right off the catch. Swing it again. He gets that. Boom, attacks quick off the catch. Now he gets that lay. Y'all spend way too much time focusing on isolation basketball instead of playing off the spot up. 25% of the time you'll run into a spot up situation. Isolation, 5%. And then now cut that down even more because maybe 1 or 2 people on the team play ISO. Pick and roll, maybe 10%, 5 to 10%. Handoff, same little thing. Transition basketball, also throw that shit in. But spot up is the main thing. I promise you, spot up is always going to be the main thing to score. They are not trolls. You rarely read my comments, so I got mad. Bro, I'll be trying to read as many comments as I can. I don't intentionally not read someone's comment or someone's chat. You know what I'm saying? I won't troll you no more. Favorite YouTube. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all for the support, by the way. Can you give me an example of an active rest day? Just say instead of going to the gym and making 200 shots, you go to the gym and hit 50, 100. You know what I'm saying? You just cut down how much you do and how much you're working. I'll just say that. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say that. Just cutting down how much you do, how intense the workout is. Let me say that, right? If you usually have these high intensity workouts, then make sure that you just drop down the overall intensity. I think it might have just dropped again, but hopefully it's just stop bugging, bro. Hopefully it should don't keep bugging. Oh, let me see if I could change anything about this as we speak. Let me see if I could change anything. I don't think I can really change anything while live. I ain't gonna lie, we have to thug this out. We're gonna have to thug this out. We're gonna have to thug this out for the rest of the stream. If it's lagging a little bit, it lags. If it's lagging a little bit, it lags. This shit's only on Fridays, which is weird as shit, like I said before. But let's get right back to it. Is swimming good on a rest day? Probably, yeah, most definitely. Swimming probably is a really good recovery day because it's minimal damage and minimal force on your joints. So yeah, you can do some shit like that on rest days. So now understand this. Peep this as well. These next two plays, right? Understand. Maxey now once again got to switch on to Duncan Robinson. Immediately sees a double from his left side, throws it to Batum. Now he ends up getting it back. Duncan Robinson is now off of Maxey, but he understands I got a shit ton of gravity. I can't sit here and play. I gotta go. So double team came from the left side last time. I now go right. Peep the read on that floater. Hold on. I really gotta show y'all this read on the floater. Really gotta show y'all because even though he has Caleb Martin, he rips right. Who's also right? Bam. And notice the footwork when he gets into his float. Sees Bam, can't get to the rim. What do? Stop short. Despite this footwork being atrocious, I go here. I float it over the top of Bam. That's why you got to keep your head up. If you don't got your head up, you can't see the rim protector right there. And you'll always try to lay around him and do all this shit at the last second and look goofy. But all you got to do is just keep your head up and you can see, oh, I just got to float this right here instead of going to the rim. It'll be that simple. Brandon Ingram. I've done one, maybe two Brandon Ingram breakdowns. That floater is crazy. Indeed, it's a crazy skill. You need it. Understand this. So now peep this. I got y'all got to understand this. Y'all got to peep this. Y'all got to understand and peep this. You got to peep everything, bro. You got to understand it all, bro. And y'all should drink water every time I say that, so y'all could actually get hydrated, because y'all probably don't drink any water. Watch, there's gonna be a day I pull up on stream and I'm not gonna say either two of those phrases. Watch, there's gonna be one day. One of these days, I ain't gonna say either one. You're gonna be like, oh shit, that's history. That's gonna be history. It's gonna be historic. But let's get back to this though. Let's get back. So, once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I got Duncan Robinson again on a switch. And they send a double right here. They're loading up, about to really send that double. I give it up to Batum. I get it back. I still got Duncan Robinson, which means they're going to send that double team. So what am I going to do now, just like I did last time? Go quick, rip to that right side. And now with Bam, understand where Bam is, their rim protector. On this right side, on this right block, or left block, it depends on which way you're looking at it, he's on the opposite side. So when I get into this attack, I don't have to worry about there being a rim protector, and I could do a lay that allows me to move forward and cover ground instead of having to stop exactly where I am. So you got to understand the bag, man. He even used another quick lay. Used another quick lay. Right, once again, from distance and range, just to help with that speed. Transition. Smart plays right here. So anytime you get the ball in transition, you got to understand who is also running with me and where is everybody at. Maxey gets this catch. Notice, he turns his head. Oh, I got Embiid, who's our big, who's going to be running the rim. So when I end up getting into this middle, I turn back, see Embiid still running towards that middle. He's now cutting down that middle, and I work my way out to leave room for him. And now Embiid's able to get here. Little finger roll. That's crazy touch from a person who's like 7 foot, like pushing 300. Crazy touch. This is going to be a stream. He doesn't say it. When you're posting a breakdown starting, there's always like 20 booms. Indeed, there's always going to be a boom, 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 boom. I might start saying boom in the breakdown. Fuck around. Hall of Fame fast twitch. Maxey do got a crazy twitch. He do got a crazy twitch. You only have that quick lay on the right side. They haven't sent him left. So it's hard for me to say, does he have it going left? So that could be something you just scout for. Oh, he never go left? What type of finishing does he do going left? He always likes to use that right, always like to use that right floater. What can he do going left? We'll see. You think Zach Edey making the league or not? He seemed too slow. I feel like there's going to be a team out there that takes the chance, but he's going to get fucking picked on, bro. He's going to get picked on crazy. You know, just because his size, he's slow, he's big. You know what I'm saying? 300 pounds, bro, 7'4". He's going to get picked on. Unless he's going to be like some sort of dominant interior force, it's going to be tough. So, I definitely think he's going to have a spot somewhere. Like I said, someone's going to take a chance on him, play him in the summer league, see how that shit turns out. But all I can tell you is inevitable that he does get cooked. That's inevitable. So, even want y'all to notice this right here. So, with Maxey, I talked about this a lot with Fred VanVleet. And this is something as to which y'all got to always have on every single shot that you do take, right? Which is, now when you get these step-ins, you got to have a base, right? It's something that a lot of y'all even y'all forget about, right? Because anytime you take a transition step-in shot, a lot of y'all like to stay vertical the entire time you run into the shot. But the most important thing is, as you approach that shot, when you're going to get that catch, is that you begin to drop your base and be prepared to shoot with that base, right? You begin to get a little lower. Take these longer strides a little lower. So now you're prepared to go and shoot. So now he just catches that and only has to go up, and the shot is more efficient. Better balanced shot, more fluid of a shot. But now notice they're about to be up 16. And this is how quick ties could turn. Man. They was just up 16. They ended up hitting the 3. Now, once again, in the right corner. This is why it's so important to finish out quarters. So, Duncan Robinson misses that. They got 2 offensive rebounds, goes up, boom, they get that flow, right? And so now, 7 seconds left. You're probably thinking, oh, ain't no way they're going to, you got to get a shot up or something. And so what ends up occurring, boom, double right there on Maxey. Embiid gets this here, lazy pass to the middle, Rozier. He's got 3 seconds. And it's like, we'll take our chances. But Miami plays from buzzer to buzzer, right? From that 12-minute mark to that 0, which is why the Sixers weren't able to fully capitalize on these situations, on these late quarter situations. First quarter, second quarter, and maybe even the third quarter a little bit. But they had all this separation, up 16 with like less than 2 minutes or so. But they always allowed the Heat to get right back in at the end of the quarter. And now here, I'm going to talk about more and more about defense. This training camp going to be only conditioning. But to get cooked on defense, bro, you should be doing straight agility work all training camp. So let's talk about the defensive aspect of stuff, though, right? So what makes Miami such a great team is that all players have active hands. Watch. Duncan Robinson comes over here to Joel, hands high, stays disciplined, stays down, right? Even with the pump fake. Turns back, bam, tips right there with the hands. Now, Duncan Robinson getting back to Kyle Lowry. Duncan Robinson, tip right there on the pass, boom, they get that turnover. Active hands by everybody is extremely important. So even though you may not get that first deflection as a steal or the second deflection as a steal, it might be that third, which is why you got to stay consistent with hand activity. And now hands again, bro. Y'all really got to understand active hands, right? Y'all just seen active hands off the ball. How about active hands on the ball in an isolation situation specifically, right? And B gets this catch in the mid-range. Left foot pivot, turns over. Watch Bam, right? Notice Bam's hand right here. The ball's exposed in front of his body, in front of his frame. Swipes down. He tried to shoot. That shit's on the ground. He goes and tries to get it. He ends up hitting Embiid's knee a little bit. That shit low-key scary. But active hands on the ball in an isolation, a triple threat situation. And now once again, these little chess games are triple threat. I always will record these, bro. It don't matter who it'll be. I always got to show y'all because this is the best way to get buckets with hardly expending any energy, right? Y'all got to really understand it's the key to efficiency. So notice, Embiid gets this catch right here from Maxey. Now pay attention to Bam in his hands. When he gets that catch, left hand is low. What does that tell Embiid? He's trying to guard me for if I'm going to do a low rip through, right? To stop that rip through from occurring and stop him from getting to the rim. Which also tells him that if I decide to go up and get into a shot, that hand is going to be late because it's low. And so now I can pull that over the top and not worry about that affecting my shot. I'm telling you, bro, this triple threat game, that's the easiest way to score with expending the least amount of energy. Y'all just got to work on it. He got them playing right. I mean, it's the overall system of things. You know what I'm saying? From the top down. You know, Spo, of course, is the person's face we all see, but there's a lot of work from players, even behind a lot of work from staff behind closed doors that go into this being the Miami Heat. So Spo does get a lot of credit. He is definitely the head coach. You know what I'm saying? Give him a lot of credit for those. And so understand this as well. Understand this, peep this, notice this, whatever you want to say. So with Maxey, right? Even though he plays with speed, there's another skill that you must need, which is angles. So notice his angles on these screens right here. Hold on. Let me go back right quick. I had to slow this down. And low-key hit the wrong key. So now notice, right? He ends up getting to that right side. Peep the angles off this first screen. He gets off this first screen, shoulder to shoulder, right? No angles to score. What does he get again? A re-screen. Watch his angles now, right? Shoulder to shoulder. Great screen by Reed both times. And now allows him to get into that mid-range, into that pull-up, over the top of Bam with that fade. He gets that bucket. Oh, this play. Imagine Ben Simmons going to the Heat. Yo, imagine Ben Simmons going to the Heat. They're going to put him to the G League team. He's going to go to the G League team. Embiid been shooting threes. He literally just typed what I said as I said it, bro. I just seen that shit in the chat as soon as I said it. That's wild. But notice this. Notice this. So, y'all want the defense to get more foul calls and to the shift in that dynamic of offensive defense to change, right? You want the rules to change for the defensive player. But explain me how you guard this. So you got Caleb Martin, right? He goes, stops, boom, Maxey gets to his stop. Watch this. Flips, he gets back in front. Guards the second move. Boom, guards that great. Oh, you think you got him now? No, you don't. He's already beat him to that spot. That's fantastic defense. But Maxey, spin back. He's at 45 degrees. He's like 55 degrees right now with the ground. On a fade, and you guarded all those moves perfectly, the best way you possibly could. And guess what happens? He still gets his bucket. Y'all got to face the fact offensive players is just advanced. Defensive players, it's just tough to do certain things when this offense is just continuously evolved for the past 30 years, right? And so when you're like, okay, you got to start changing the rules. How about defensive players start investing as much time into defense as offensive players do offense? How about that? Because I know I can guarantee you, ain't nobody going into the gym and saying, all right, what can I do as a defender to evolutionize or evolve the game, evolve the defensive side of the game of basketball? Nobody doing that. Nobody. Best they will probably do is go into film and be like, okay, I could do this little trick, I could do that trick. But they're not working endless hours per day, right, to get better at defense like offensive players are doing. Going to the gym 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day. It's hard, focused skill workouts to get better on offense. Defense, I'll give you about 10, 15 minutes. Just 10, 15 minutes. So it's tough to be able to say that, you know what I'm saying, when time is not invested into that side of the game. How do you get better drives when there's bad spacing and teammates don't move? Tell your teammates to get spaced and tell them to fucking move. Malachi Flynn's got 50 points in the league. Everybody is too talented. There's a lot of talented motherfuckers. You breaking Malachi 50 down? If anything, I would have had to do that today. But I low-key even forgot that he even had 50. I ain't gonna lie. It's just like, yo, why the fuck he got 50, bro, on the Detroit Pistons play like 34 minutes? I was like, what the fuck? People just getting 50 nowadays, dog. What the hell? But notice this as well, right? Look. So this is one of the reasons why y'all can't shoot from range. Watch these shots by Maxey. He shoots this first one. Notice where he misses. Boom. Short. Notice this next shot. Bring back. That shot's again from deep. Watch the result. Boom. He misses that. Short. Let's check out this third one, right? He now gets to switch with Nikola Jovic, right? Let's see how this shot turns out. Boom. Another shot from deep. Boom. How does it turn out? Short. It's really because one or two reasons. Y'all got to understand, right? It's one or two reasons. Either because you lack the base and the strength to be able to shoot from that far, right? Meaning when you go shoot a deep shot, you're too vertical and you don't have enough legs under you. Or it could be two, which is you're not conditioned enough to be in a game and take a shot from that deep and be able to knock it down consistently. That's usually what it is. There could be more things, but it really boils down to your leg strength. How strong are your legs, and are you using your base? Or are you conditioned enough so that you could be able to use your base throughout the entire course of a game? Gem right there. But some of y'all don't really need to shoot that much further. I'm going to keep it a beam. Some of y'all don't need to shoot that much further. Got to be a dog on defense. Everyone tries to tries on defense that much. Not people don't put no thought into defense, bro. Nobody put thought into defense. I get putting shots up, for example. How do you invest work into defense? 1v1s. It's a almost a concept just like what you call it. If you just go into the gym, right, and say, okay, I'm playing ones, or I'm playing ones, I'm playing defense, and I'm looking at all the things I'm doing bad. I'm looking at how I got beat. I'm looking at all these little nuances, like how I'm opening up my hip, understanding like groin length, groin strength, so I can be able to open up my hip, understanding hip mobility, and you're working on all these little intricacies within that side of the game, and now you go and work on that. I guarantee you, there's a way you could like I told you, I have defensive workouts. That you could continuously formulate new workouts and new ways to be able to train defense. It's like if you went back in the day and told people in the 90s, people in the 80s, how could you formulate a skills workout so you could become a better shooter? It's like, yo, what the fuck? What are drills? Like, they probably never even thought of what a drill would be and what to even do. It's like, oh, just go and shoot. But in time, as shit goes along, things evolve, right? As long as you put time into it, put into the right person's mind, it will evolve. But people don't spend that much time to even evolve the defensive side of the game, which is why, in my opinion, it's hard for anybody to be able to say offensive players have too much of an advantage and defensive players are disadvantaged if you're not a defensive player who invests time in really learning defense, right? It's almost like you're just trying to find an easy cop out, because I don't want to try to evolve this game. I don't want to put my time into the gym to get better at defense, and I would rather just go and work on offense instead, right? I'd rather just go and work on offense instead. I'm not going to sit here and try to find new ways to evolve defense. Y'all just go change the rules. It's not fair. They get too good. That's bullshit. That's bullshit to me. If you're a Pat Bev, if you're like a Drew Holiday, if you're one of those guys who do invest their time, invest their mind into really learning defense and learning these things like Marcus Smart, then it's like, okay, you're actually trying to get better. And there's certain things as to which I could only so much do that I can't really have much control over, and I think we should get that. But it'd be the lazy people who say, oh, that's not fair. You know? Quick little tangent, though. Little tangent. And my frame's still dropping. I don't know why this shit is bugging, but I need to fix this shit out. Let's see right there. But let me see. Also, that's the biggest part of defense. LaMelo could try 200%. Bro, I definitely think LaMelo could be a good defender. He's like 6'8". He just doesn't care about playing defense. He doesn't care about the movement of defense. He doesn't care about those aspects of it. He doesn't invest any of his time to get better at defense. And who's to say he can't be a good defender if he has even tried to become a good defender? Physically, like I said, it's a completely different pattern of movement. And it's a pattern of movement anybody can learn, I could guarantee you, right? But people don't even try to get better at defense. They just think it is what it is. That's what they always think, it is what it is. Like, if I could guard, I can. But can't. He built like a twig. I guarantee you, there's been skinny defenders all the time. Wemby's built like a twig. He's tall, but you got LaMelo who is built like a twig, but he's as light on his feet as a guard. So what if he brings that height that he has, being 6'8", and point guards who are 6'5", and he builds the functional strength, so then he could be able to actually take on hits. I'm telling you, it's just an investment into your time, into your game, into your craft. If you want to get into a higher level, you know what I'm saying? You could try to say anything as to which could stop him, and I guarantee you, I got a counter for that as to why he can't, as to why he can't be able to do it. So there's always going to be a reason, always going to be some sort of excuse that people try to find and try to pull out their ass, but in reality, their counter to it is always going to defeat that. Always going to. So, and I want y'all to peep Jaime Jaquez. Peep Jaime Jaquez. Peep Jaime Jaquez on this play, right? So, Kevin Love on the miss. And this is how you really should play defense. So, look at Jaime Jaquez, right? Even though you do go back and you pick somebody up and you got responsibilities, you must always read the floor and what's going on behind you, because by reading Oubre and what he's looking at and seeing Kevin Love prior to, because when he turned his head right here, notice, right? Understand that Kevin Love and Embiid are the ones that are furthest behind this play, right? And so that could be the only thing that Kelly Oubre is looking at. I can now just be a roamer, right? To where I'm reading Oubre, he's trying to throw that into Embiid. I see him loading up that pass, boom, I go ahead and steal that. Give me that. Right? You go out and make plays when you understand that offense is going to do a certain thing, and that's when you can even go and break responsibility because you see a play to be made. The same thing like offense on defense as well. There are a bunch of combos towards being offensively dominant, but no one is pushing it to on the defensive side other than you. It's because people don't even believe it. People don't even think it. They don't like the idea of let's advance defense like we advanced offense. It could be done the same exact way, but people don't want, like, they don't even think of that, right? Their brains literally don't think in that capacity. I be trying to tell y'all, right? If y'all don't, like, just look at the ways as to which I think about certain things and how in depth I go on these details, and just even see just everything as a whole. It's like, bro, there's no limitation in anything as to what you do. There's no limitation, right? And it's just about being able to find exactly what it is that could allow something to grow and something to improve. But people don't put no thought into that. They don't believe it. None of that shit. So it's just important to understand, bro, there's no limits. Because I done seen it for myself. And I'm going to take y'all through my journey with me. Because I done made a good bit of progress already in being who I am right now to this day. Not just in like what I'm doing with the social media, but on a day-to-day basis, just hooping and getting better at the game of basketball. I just got to really show y'all at this point. I'm gonna start showing y'all, and so I'm really getting some shit together to where y'all can be able to track my progress and track my growth through everything that I do. Where I tell y'all, okay, my goal right now is to be able to East Bay, take y'all through this journey. My goal right now is to get my shooting percentages to this. I'm gonna take y'all on this journey. I want to change this apart about my game. I'm gonna take y'all on this journey. Like, I'm gonna really show y'all all this little stuff, and then ultimately, like I said though, the Patreon's gonna have the full workout to everything I do. But then my Instagram, all the other stuff gonna have the little bits and little details. And so I want y'all to really see the growth. And so y'all could even see that there is no limit to anything you fucking do. There's no limit. It just depends on how you think, then how well you're able to carry out those actions through discipline. You see a logo up there, you see the words up there. It just boils down to discipline. How consistently are you gonna partake in this action that's gonna lead you to where you want to be? You know what I'm saying? That's the real question, man. That's the real question. And so I promise, I'm not only going to help evolve the defensive side of the game, because I'm gonna say, fuck it, I'm gonna be the one to do it. Why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying? That's another avenue as to which I could go about this conversation. Because I'm saying all it takes is someone. Why not me? Why not me? Right? Begin to build up a good base of players as to which you see a huge defensive transformation where they come to work with Pat and they go back playing defense like never before seen. Right? And on that, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that defensive portion because nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to work on it. One. Then two, another thing I'm gonna do is be able to get women dunking. Y'all gonna see some women start dunking. I maybe not be able to get all, but the few who do build the proper foundation as they get in order and got used to the game of basketball, y'all gonna see a couple women dunking. I guarantee you that. That's the two things I'm gonna do. The two things I want to evolve in basketball, right there and then. And the overall movement of the women's game is another thing, which all boils down to physiological things. But I'm telling y'all this now. This is what, April 5th, 2024. If you can play this clip back in a couple years' time, just as time goes along, I told y'all so. Told y'all. Just wait till it happens though. But now let's get back to this game, right? We got a cool 2.5 minutes of clips left. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the zone. So, the ability to properly switch defenses at the right times is really going to throw off teams and throw off offenses more than y'all think. Because when they start throwing the zone in, Embiid in this game, he gets this lay. Smoke, he was 1 for 8 against their zone. 1 for 8. And I think he was 11 for 25 on the night. So 7 of those misses that came in half the quantity as the other ones, he ended up missing from that zone alone. Threw him off his rhythm completely. And it just gave Miami Heat a chance in this game. Job Allen, did you listen? Of course I listened. Without a doubt. I listened. The funny thing about it, right quick, I'm going to get to this breakdown, but the funny thing about it is I left the gym, I saw he dropped, and I was like, bro, fuck. And I just listened to it right before stream. So, and by the way, people trying to hate on his, I guess, his response track to Kendrick, like, yo, he did, that was an L diss. He threw a warning shot. It wasn't a diss, it was a warning shot. He said, okay, I don't want to do this, but if we got to do this, if you want to do this, we could do this. That was a warning shot, by the way. before y'all decide to go and see all these posts and comments, he said in the song, "This a warning shot." I'm not even really trying to diss. It's a warning shot. You know what I'm saying? So just if y'all even listen to that entire album, you can't tell me there's nobody on this world that is a better rapper than Cole, bar for bar. Better rapper than Cole, like bar for bar. Hold on, let me tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all one song to listen to. On this, if you're gonna listen to one song, what shit? I think it was Stealth Mode. Not Stealth Mode. That was another one. Sticks and Stones. Sticks and Stones, bro. That shit was tough. That's the one I remember off first listen. Remember that shot. Warning shot seems like glazing, not gonna lie. If he said in the song, "This a warning shot," how is that glazing? I'm going by what Cole said. And how is that glazing? If I just reciprocate what he said to y'all, how am I glazing? I don't know. I guess a lot of things will qualify for glazing nowadays. I guess a lot of things will qualify for that. But let's talk about the zone, though. We done got off topic crazy. We've been live for 2+ hours now. But peep this, and let's really lock in and really talk about the zone this fourth quarter. So peep this. Really notice this, right? So your responsibilities in the zone is key. And the most important things in the zone is hands. So watch Hightower for these next couple of plays, right? Or Highsmith. That's how you say his name? Right? So notice this, right? Anytime you're playing, especially in this middle. Yo! Brother, tweaking, bro. That nigga fucking tripped and hit his head on the dough. But peep this, though. Let's really lock in on this play. Let's watch Highsmith. Let's watch Highsmith. But notice this, right? Notice, anytime you play in the zone, you need hands. So, close out. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I ain't listen. Hold on. Give me some water. That shit just discombobulated me for a second. Notice this. Let's go back. Let's lock in. Let's really lock in. Because I done forgot what type of play this was. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? But right there, that's the play I was talking about. This is the play I was talking about. So notice this. I skipped over a play. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Tyrese is crazy, fast, and explosive. Indeed he is. But all right, let's lock in. So like I said, though, hands in the zone, right? So watch Highsmith. Ball gets to Batum right here. Hands high. Simply just by having his hands high. Tip, steal, going to that other side. And now, most importantly, I want y'all to understand the responsibilities of playing the middle of the zone. And now with Highsmith being the person who guards the top, he's now end up guarding the middle just because where players are. This is, you match up within a zone so you could be able to take away what you need to take away and you don't confine yourself to just one spot. So now, what ends up occurring, he goes from middle, now he ends up getting to his top over here. Ball gets thrown out to Embiid, and with Embiid thinking about the zone, who's pinching in, who's double, who's coming from where, pass fake, hesitates, gets a hand from the side, it's like, oh shit. Remember, like I told you, he's 1 for 8 from the zone. 1 for 8. So that zone really just threw everything in a loop. Threw everything off. And now once again, peep this. Now Batum gets this, tries to throw it back. You playing the zone. You playing the zone, bro. You playing the zone. They got everybody out of sorts. You just throwing passes without looking where to throw a pass. All these damn turnovers. And they up 8 right now. The Heat low-key sold this game. They sold this game them damn selves, bro. They really sold this game. They should have won it, but once again, they tripping. I don't know. Leads, missing shots, late game. Should have got to the free throw line or something. But watch Maxey right here, though, right? Shuffling to that left. Great base. Great base. I'm telling y'all, it's the 3 points of a base. Y'all need these 3 points right here. Hold on. Y'all need these 3 points. Y'all need the hips. Y'all need knee. Y'all need ankle. Let me even just get a pointer right quick. Let me get the... Y'all need the... Hold on. Wrong direction. Bear with me. Hip load, right? Knee load, and then on the balls of your feet. The 3 things you need. The 3 things right there. If you want to be able to shoot a good balanced shot, you need the load at the hips, you need the load at the knee, and then you need to have your heels off the ground and be on the balls of your feet. If you want to get a good shot. And now just notice how this turns out. Notice how that turns out. Knocks it down. Boom, that's a bucket. That's a smooth, fluid jumper. Tyrese hips. Pause. Pause, gang. Pause, gang. But understand this in playing in the zone. My frames keep dropping crazy, but bear with me. Bear with me. I got to fix this. I got to figure this shit out later. But anytime you play in the zone, you need somebody like Campaign, who anytime they get the ball and they get some bit of daylight, they ready to shoot that motherfucker anytime and not think about it, because that's the only shot they may get. You got to have that type of player. And if you may be that type of player yourself, make sure you just shoot that shot and don't think. If you got daylight, let it go. Let it loose. Now right here, hold on, that's a gem. That's a gem. I have to have the on-screen marker for this one. I have the on-screen marker for this. But notice, right? Look, if you want to be able to backdoor anybody, watch Jimmy, right? He's on his right wing. Notice what he does right here with his right hand. Notice this. He put that on Batum's backside, right? He put it on that outside of his backside so that he could be able to lead his momentum up while he now goes down, which ultimately gets him to a point where I can now get here and get backdoor and misdirect him, and I get this layup. I showed that in the Jalen Brunson breakdown. I'll continuously show it because y'all need to continue to see that. And now Embiid. I'm telling y'all, bro. I'm telling y'all, when y'all switch defenses, it could work wonders. It'll make people do shit like this. Even though he got that pass fake, slipped out your hand, boom, turnover. They had so many chances really to win this game, but especially with playing that zone, they should have had that. They really should have had that. And now notice this play, so chaotic right here. All this chaos going on, bodies on the floor. Maxey gets this. Watch Caleb Martin now, though, right? This is how you're able to be a strategic and a very reactive and smart defender, right? So now Caleb Martin's going down, Maxey's going to his right. Now Maxey's priority is to read Martin. And with Maxey now going through this middle, he thinks, oh shoot, he's gonna jump out. And his body seems like it. But what does Martin do? Stop, charge, charge, bro. He made it seem like as if, okay, I may continue to jump out and take away that lane, but I know you're trying to get to the rim. So I'm just gonna stop here, boom, charge. That's a high level defensive play. High level play. And the instincts for that are tough. And now notice this. Notice this. Anytime you play in a zone, right? Anytime you play in a zone, this is why your coach tells you to get the ball in the middle, right? Look at the Heat's defense. Martin, Highsmith, Jaquez, Love, Butler. Ball gets in the middle. Notice what happens to all of them. They all collapsed and pinched in. So now what does this allow you to do if you get the ball in the middle? Catch, play off the spot up, and just be able to get straight into your buckets easily and quickly, right? Y'all got to make sure you get the ball in the middle. And once again with Maxey, right? Once again with Maxey, like I was saying before, he's able just to keep shit simple. Hard closeout, attacks it, uses his speed, makes him break the base, sees all this help. I can't get in the paint. Get out in the space, use my mid-range, and get that bucket. His bag is built exactly for how he moves. Now peep this. I don't think I'd ever say this before, but notice Paul Reed's defense right here, right? This is a great defensive play. Jimmy gets this switch, he pump fakes, he jumps, but notice what he does after, right? Notice what he does here. He didn't fully jump. He low-key canceled that jump. Is that he rips that ball through, Reed meets that ball to where he ripped it through too, and not too closer to his body. That's a smart-ass play. Smart-ass play. And now what ends up occurring, they get down here in transition. Low-key miss KJ right here. But now throw it to Maxey. Maxey here to Oubre. And this play right here is important for this next play I'm going to show y'all going down, right? Because this little layup is going to work wonders for what you're able to do. And so anytime you're playing off the catch, this is Maxey being the point guard that he is, right? And now he's got this action here in the pick and roll. Highsmith is just worried about everything that's going on over here. What do I now do? Swing that over to Oubre. Quick catch. Boom, get up into the shot, knock it down. And if you're a spot-up player, if you're someone who often finds themselves in the corner and has good control over fast shots, you need that right there. Need that. And so here too. We're getting close to the end of this breakdown, but understand, anytime you attack, the most important thing is your spacing. Get your spacing set. And so Embiid tells Lowry, go up, but nah, he leaves, right? And so what ends up occurring is that if you end up getting your spacing, it gives you more options. And if you don't get your spacing, And if Maxey didn't get his spacing right here, what could have transpired is that Maxey would not have this shot at all. He would not have that at all, right? And another reason why he may have not had that is if he did not do this as well, right? Notice this off arm. This is vital. Little things. Loki did extend it out, but it was more of a chicken wing extension instead of a full arm elbow extension, which is probably why it wasn't called, right? Just a little bit with the elbow, and y'all got to make sure y'all emphasize that when you create your space. Push with that elbow, not with that full arm. And so now this is the end of the game we was talking about before, though, right? I'm gonna show y'all this little sequence. Kyson at hooping, wild as fuck. But look, this is the end of this game. If y'all didn't see this game, this is kind of crazy. So look, Maxey's cooking. He got 37 at this point, right? You got 30 on the clock. He got Jimmy on him, and now he does what he usually does, get into a fairly simple move. He misses that. But notice what happens with Miami going down, bro. This is kind of tragic, because now they end up getting the ball to their one and only real shot creator outside of Jimmy, right? And now Terry Rozier tries to get something. You got 20 seconds left. You down 2. Tries to get to that line, get a 3. Boom, he don't got nothing. Jimmy comes to set a screen. Ah, shit, it got doubled. Could have damn near called a jump ball. Let's get it out to Jimmy. This is super chaotic. By the way, realize this in real time, full speed. You may as well just fucking go full speed now, right? Jimmy ends up getting this here, right? And Jimmy, you know Jimmy. He's always going to go for the win. He always going to go for the win. So pull up right here from 3 from that wing. And despite them having all this slump, having stuck at 102, scoring 3 points in the last like 4 or 5 minutes, pull that from right there by Jimmy, misses that. But Highsmith on the rebound. Highsmith on the rebound. This is 6 seconds. We still got time, right? We still got time, and we got timeouts. Dribble off his own foot. Damn, bruh. That's just tragic, bruh. That's just tough. And that's the end of this stream. We're going to be live again on Monday. We're going to be locked in. Make sure you got your noties on. Make sure you subbed up. Make sure you stay tuned with everything that's going to be transpiring. Make sure you sub to the Patreon as well, because I'm about to have workouts drop on there. And I'm going to have workout splits, all this stuff, nutrition, one-on-one coaching available, all of it. So make sure you all go sub up on there if you want to take your game and your mindset to the next level. And I'm having exclusive breakdowns on there. So some of your breakdowns in time, I got y'all in due time. In due time, I'm break down some of my stuff. I got y'all. It's gonna be sooner rather than later. But make sure that y'all sacrifice your present self and invest into your future self, and do everything that you need to do to be able to get to where you're here to be. So discipline or regret, you choose.